I want to present a couple things of some opportunities this week. And then, I also want to just talk just briefly and share, if anyone wants to share some inspirations about the new year and get into it. So first thing of the opportunities is if you're in Connecticut, someone in Rhode Island, definitely in Massachusetts, and definitely in Florida, so many properties expire every single year, same time. So it sounds like a broken record, but every year there's at least one person on the team who takes 3 or 4 listings. And so it's worth it for me to just repeat that this morning, which is every year on December 31st, a slew of listings are going to go expired. And so there's a huge opportunity for that. So I want to encourage you guys, if you don't have your calendar marked for that, go for it. There is a ton of resources here inside of the training program, the resource center, for you to work on those expired scripts, etc. If you want to hear examples of those calls and everything, it's all uploaded there. If you can't find something, certainly reach out to me. And that's going to relate directly to what I texted about this morning, which is that every intention, every dream that we have, every hope that we have, anything that we want to develop into our lives, it starts as intention, but it goes from there. It moves on from intention, and it, like a seed, always has to be placed apart from itself. It needs to be placed in an environment where it can succeed and grow. And it needs to grow, but it doesn't grow instantly. One day it's a seed and the next day it's a tree. And I want you to just for a second think about the experiences that you've heard or felt about growth of any kind. It could be in the physical world, in the spiritual world, in your business world, in your family world, in anything of that. Think of this. You meet someone in your relationship world, and you don't instantly, the next week or the next month, have a family of 2 or 3. It doesn't happen like that. Think of it in your physical world. You decide, okay, I'm going to get in shape, or I'm going to make fitness a priority, a wellness a priority for myself. I'm going to, slow down on my drinking or smoking or doing something that maybe isn't a great thing for myself and my, my body. But that takes time. And you don't just quit one day. I mean, you can quit cold turkey, but the change in your life happens over the course of a period of time. Let's think about your business world. In your business world, you don't go today from okay, I have this great intention that I'm going to sell 20 houses and all of a sudden sell that. We know that. So we have to ask ourselves, if everything in life has a period, there's a season for it all, and it all has a process of growth. Ask yourself, what does 2025 look like for you? Now, a seed has in itself an intention, and most realtors and agents of all kinds, right, have intention. I desire to do something different in my life. I desire to make an improvement. But you have to ask yourself, what is it that's going to be the environment for it? So we're going to make an analogy this morning. And that analogy is going to be, the seed is going to be your intention, and we're going to share those intentions this morning. So as I'm talking here today, feel free to put your intentions down in the chat. What is your intention for yourself in your business this year? Put that in the chat. My intention this year. And I want you to think about your intention as a seed. Your intention is a seed. But what for yourself is going to be the environment? What do you need in order to succeed? For most seeds, obviously, you can't just take a seed and put it on a table and even decide to grow it, right, Nick? You're going to need, Nick's the farmer here. You're going to need some sort of water, some sort of sunlight, some sort of soil in order for that thing to grow. And so you have to ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I putting myself in an environment that's going to allow me to succeed? So what would that look like? So one of those might be, you know what, man? I show up to 1 huddle a week. This time I'm going to show up to 2. You know what, man? I showed up and I went to the office 1 day a week. I'm going to try this year in 2025 to show up 2 days a week. I called once with a couple of people and I kind of got motivated as to what a good call was. I'm going to do it 2 or 3 times. I heard Jaden Canada, he was in the office, and that guy seems to call and he seems to interact with people. I'm going to follow up with that person. I'm going to meet with them one more time. Examples like these are the ways that we can apply not only the seed's intention, but also the environment of the soil around the seed. Now, how else do we help this to grow? Well, we can also help this to grow because we need to water our intentions every single day. We have to water them. Now, in order for that to happen, I want you to ask yourself, what in my life is going to be pouring into my intentions each day? What in my life is going to be pouring in? That for you might be I do need to show up to a huddle in order to get motivated every morning. And I need that water in order just to, like a fresh splash to get started for the day. That might mean for yourselves, I got to listen to a podcast in the morning in order to get ready. That might mean I got to get my physical fitness a priority again in my life so it can continue to water. Those are the ways that we're going to see the actual intentions of what we have as seeds begin to grow into something that's more important. Now, the second part of this is just as important as the first. And that's that in growing anything, you have to ask yourself, what are the challenges of the environment that we have? What's the challenges? Now, that might be for yourself, man, you got rocks in the soil. You might be that you've got thorns that grow up around it. You might be that you've got something else. Birds come in and try to steal the seed. Any of those things are external influences that cause you to maybe not succeed. And I want you to ask yourself, what is that? For myself, at one point in time, it was like, hey, man, two beers a night ain't going to help me, right? Or it was going to be, not preparing and having my day unorganized, which is not going to prepare me. So I need to eliminate certain things out of my life, and I need to add certain things into my life. So let me just ask you guys, what are some of your intentions for yourself in 2025 for your business? Go ahead and put those in the chat. Thank you, John. Grow my business by 50%. That's awesome, man. Somebody else. What else are your intentions? And then we're going to talk through what are the things that you can add to your life in order to make sure that it's a success. What would those be? Taylor, good morning. Veronica, good morning. Anna, good morning. What's some intentions for your business? Cara, be in the office consistently 3 days a week.
I can't type, David, but I can talk if you want.
Cool, brother. What do you got?
Build business relationships. That's my big goal for 2025.
And bro, you're the farmer. So what's the soil here? What's the water? What's the sunlight? What do rocks need to get removed?
Yeah, so I'm building out some marketing right now. So that's one piece of it in terms of like how I'm going to add value to the businesses that I want to work with. So I'm getting really specific with exactly how I'm going to add value, my value proposition. Why would an attorney want to work with me? Why would a builder want to work with me? And then exacting the plan, you know what I mean? Like executing the actual plan to get in front of these people and to build 5 relationships, 2 relationships, 10 relationships, whatever it is I can get to.
That's awesome. And what are some of the rocks that show up? What are some of the thorns that show up, dude, in order to stop you?
So probably just gathering up, like I'll do it, but gathering up the courage to like literally drive around Connecticut and go into like 20 different attorney offices and just like pitch, have my pitch and just like actually just going out and walking into those buildings and pitching my proposition.
Is it time management? Is the ability to not get distracted in order to do it? Is it, hey man, email's easier to manage than it is to take the drive and go?
Yeah, it's partly that, and like it's always a balance for me. Like it's a balance between okay, like now business and then future business. So it's like I need to pay the bills and I need to make the money now. So I think of it as like a sprint and a marathon. So I'm trying to do like 2 things at one time that are like almost opposite. Like training for a marathon that's more important than the sprint, but I have to sprint today and tomorrow and the next day. So that's like kind of how I think of it.
Yeah, you almost want to think of it this way, to keep with the analogy of just growing things. I've always said there's crops that take a very short amount of time to grow, and then there's crops that take a little bit longer but will fill you up a little bit more, or are a little bit more of a delicacy. And so what you're doing is you're constantly growing a few different crops at the same time. You got to grow the stuff that's quick, and you got to grow the stuff as well that takes a little bit more time, but that's going to change it up for you. So I love that. Jaden, pay off my car. Jaden, tell me from the intention, what's the soil around it? What's the watering that needs to happen for you, bro?
Sorry, I'm cooking breakfast.
Thanks for joining us.
So I mean, I talked with Lou, like, theoretically, I have to sell like 27 homes. So I'm like hammering expired listings and just like creating that list that you talked about, like those 30 sellers. So right now I'm at like 24 that I know are probably going to sell next year. So just continuously just staying on top of sellers and, you know, hopefully getting those listings signed by April.
Okay, man. Well, you know what it is. You know that you can change your world by having those listings signed up for April, right? Change
Yeah.
that. That's awesome, man. What are the rocks that show up in your world that could stop you?
Me.
Be more specific. Yeah, what is it about you, bro?
Just procrastination. Like sometimes I just get afraid and fear. We say it all the time. Fear is kind of just holding hands with procrastination. So
Does, my friend. Fear holds hands with procrastination. Good stuff, dude. You know what? One thing that I do for myself is I put sayings like that up. I'd love to tattoo it on my body, but instead I put it on my walls.
yeah, I like that.
All right, Veronica, improve my organization to maximize my time. What's the soil around you? What's the rocks? What's the water, Veronica? How can we help?
Hey, so I'm planning on just my daily schedules changing, being more intentional with time blocking on a daily basis, because I have been doing so and I am seeing an improvement, but I just want to step that up more because I see how much more time I actually have than I think I do.
Isn't that the truth? We always have way more time than we think that we do. There's good exercises for the day away, excuse me, with the team and the excellent agents. I met with them, and one of the hardest struggles that a top agent has is their time management. Yes, new agents have that problem as well. Everyone could have that problem, whether you're starting or not. But let's be honest, if you're dealing with 3 clients, you know, if you can't manage that, that's a little hard, right? Like, okay, we gotta figure out some basic stuff. But for top agents, they've got 20 clients at a time. So time management really shows up like as a big deal. And so I often ask people to do a time audit for themselves. Like, okay, if you had to handle 5 buyers in a week, how long would that take? How much for 5 sellers? How much to go to a couple trainings? How much for huddles? How much in order to do CMAs? How much in order to negotiate? How much in order to handle your email? How much time do you spend? You actually create a budget. And so for excellent agents, we do what's called a time audit. And then what you can do is you can start negating out time requirements based upon the support and the leverage that you have in your life. So for example, for me, in order to run my 4 companies, it takes me 96 hours per week from Monday through Friday in order to do it. So I can either work 96 hours, which is just, what's the quick math on that? 96 divided by 5. I can work 19.2 hours a day, or I can get leverage in my life in order to handle certain things. And so what we did was we take away, okay, what's Pablo's tasks, you know, not team related stuff, but actual like, you know, helping me out by building presentations for me, or the TC's job for helping me with my deals, or whatever it is. And so now all of a sudden you start adding time back. And so that audit is super helpful because it helps you realize what is really required of me in order to have me hit my goals. If Jaden says I got to hit 20 sellers, okay, what's 20 sellers? 20 sellers is 3 hours of lead gen a day. Like, all right, cool. Let's take a time audit on what he's doing every day, and a time audit on what he needs to do. And let's just review once every 2 days. And that helps you not get like distracted by just only doing it, you know, once per week or even once per month, because it's too hard to change at that point. So one of the big encouragement for some people who want to really like get their time back in order is to do a time audit for yourselves. So if you guys need a time audit, feel free to DM me, be like, hey dude, can you give me an example of what that would look like? And I'd be happy to help you with that. So awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining me this morning. A little bit of fun stuff. I'm going to do it every day this week. So if you guys you want to get crazy tomorrow night, and I'll see you still on Wednesday. I'll be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed with my kids. ready to go. So I'm excited for 2025. I've got a lot of intention. We're putting that from intention in our minds into our calendars to make it a habit for ourselves, affects our feelings, affects our daily activities, which affects our results. So proud to see you guys here on so many on December 30th. So I know it's going to be a great year. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.